Hello, and welcome to Alive with Bhavna. Thank you for listening to today's show, where I will be discussing the last two needs of the heart, which is acceptance and allowing. For those new to the show, my name is Bhavna. I worked as a clinical psychologist both here in New Zealand and in South Africa, where I come from. My mindfulness started in South Africa, but grew and matured into the self-love practice here in New Zealand. This resulted in me writing the book, Self-Love, The First Step. The 5 needs of the heart are attention, appreciation, affection. These are the 3 that I've spoken about in previous talks. The last 2 that I'll be talking about today is acceptance and allowing. As I said in previous talks, these 5 needs of the heart are things that we need from other people, or what love is translated into. But more important than needing it from someone else, we need to be able to give these to ourselves. This way it helps us to feel more connected with ourselves and more whole. If we can't give ourselves these needs, we will have difficulty in accepting it from others, or will feel not worthy of getting it from others. After we give it to ourselves, it is lovely to get it from others, and we can graciously accept it in our hearts. And it helps us to feel more connected with our loved ones and valued by them. Some people might be comfortable with some of the needs and find others extremely difficult. Others might find all of them difficult. This is especially in the generally disconnected world in which we live in. Previously, I spoke about why attention is so important. Attention is the cornerstone need on which the others are built. Without attention, you can't give appreciation, affection, acceptance, or allowing. If you don't know what's going on, how can you address it or bring attention to it? Allowing is the flip side of attention. I see it as the energy with which we do what we do. Appreciation comes after attention. Many people find it difficult to like their bodies because it is the wrong shape or size. But they can appreciate their legs for allowing them to walk, their hands for allowing them to do things. So appreciation is taking attention one step closer to the heart. Appreciation forms the foundation for the next step, which is affection. The easiest way of giving affection is through touch. This is about moving from saying thank you to your body to I love you, or I think you're okay, or I like you, whatever your level is. Acceptance is about accepting you the way you are, without trying to change yourself or fit into the type of person that you think you should be for others to love you. Allowing is acceptance in action, or permission to be as you are, and let that be. For example, if you have depression, acceptance is about admitting that this is your reality at present. Allowing is giving yourself permission to feel sad, not wanting to get out of bed, having no mood. But it does not mean allowing ourselves to stay stuck in these behaviors or the space. Allowing for negative and unhealthy behaviors is always time limited, but I'll get into that later. We all desire to be accepted and loved for who we are, or just as we are. I remember doing a dance of the Dances of Universal Peace, and the song was, Take, oh take me as I am, honor all that I shall be. And I thought how lovely it is to be accepted and taken as you are, honored for who you are. For some lucky children, this is what they experienced in childhood. They were accepted and loved as they were, moody, crabby, happy, made no difference. They were just loved. For many others, they did not even get this in early childhood. How great is the feeling of being accepted and loved as you are by others. But often we find it hard to accept ourselves as we are. So we can't imagine others loving me this way. So I try to change who I am so that maybe someone will love me and then accept me. And then maybe I will feel worthy of love, care, affection. I become a people pleaser so that others would love me and not reject me. Being a people pleaser never brings the person any joy, peace, or happiness because they're always focused on what they're doing for others or when the next request is, or how they need to be different to who they are in order to be accepted or fit in. So they can't relax and enjoy this tiny win. These clients tell me how exhausting being a people pleaser is. And yet they cannot stop doing it because a part of them doesn't know any other way of being. And another part is afraid of change or being different to what they've always been. And being different is scary and risky. So better the devil you know. Clients often tell me that they don't know who they are. They have lived so much of their lives being and doing what other people want or expect them to be, that they have no sense of who they are or what they're like. I find this to be extremely sad. To live with yourself every single day and have no idea of who you are because you never allowed or accepted yourself to show, even just to yourself, your real self. These people are generally identify themselves as what they do or their role in life that they perform. I'm a mother, husband, CEO, community leader, and so on. So much of their lives have been spent on building this external, outside world that they never stopped to address or feel and therefore connect with the internal world. The things that they are striving for might not even be what they want, but what others has wanted for them, and they adopted it as their own. Parents sometimes impose their values on their children, expecting them to be whatever when they grow up. And as a child, they adopt this as who they want to be when they grow up. And only much later in adulthood, they realize that this is never who they wanted to be. And they've wasted a whole life being someone they didn't want to be. Because these people have no idea of who they are happy, in quotation marks, to live in this external world. Because it gives them a sense of security, predictability, and control over their lives. But they have this nagging feeling of unmet needs inside of them that just keeps on calling them. Often clients will tell me that they have everything in their lives, everything they wanted, but still they feel that their lives are unfulfilled, that they're lacking something, or they're just not happy with what they got. That is the idea that they were sold. If you do this, and this, then at the end of it, you should be happy. That's just a fantasy. Happiness, peace, love doesn't come from the outside, doesn't come from what I do, doesn't come from my financial status or anything else. It comes from doing the internal work, connecting with our hearts, opening and accepting us as we are in this moment. Clients often tell me that they cannot accept their mind states as they are. They're depressed or anxious. They fear that acceptance means giving it permission to be there. You are already feeling what you're feeling. Acceptance just means you stop fighting it, allowing it to be there. But this does not mean that we stay stuck in it, we just mean we stop fighting it. Acceptance means surrendering or connecting with this reality. For most people, they would prefer not to connect with this reality because it's too painful, so they fight it. This can be accepting your mental health difficulties, your physical condition, or the death or loss of a loved one. We'd rather not accept that reality because acceptance would make it real. But guess what? It's already real. It's already happening. Your loved one is already gone. Acceptance just means we stop fighting that reality. Allowing is what we do once we've accepted the reality as it is. It's engaging with my mind and my mental distress to see what's going on so that I can address the core reason, and then the distress goes away or diminishes. Acceptance is looking at the monster under the bed squarely in its eyes. Allowing is training the monster so that it becomes my pet monster rather than this big, uncontrollable monster that's ruling my life. I encourage clients to accept their mind states and to welcome them. Only by engaging with it, knowing it, can we address or change it. This is the allowing part. Allow the depression or anxiety that is already manifesting in your mind and body to manifest as fully as you can while you watch it or listen to it. This is different to giving in to the mental states and letting it overwhelm you or control your life. This is probably your usual way of dealing with your mindsets. First avoidance, and then feeling overwhelmed that you can't continue with avoidance anymore. And then you go back to avoidance. This is where mindfulness comes in really handy. Mindfulness is learning how to sit with and notice these difficult states of mind with objectivity. It's like a scientist looking at and examining something with openness, curiosity, and a not knowing attitude, but also with compassion for the suffering and the pain. With support of a mindfulness trainer, you can learn how to engage with these difficult mental states and actually befriend them. From accepting and allowing the unpleasant mind states to being there and seeing them as they are, we get to understand them. What is the depression and anxiety telling you? Where does it come from? Is it your body's way of trying to protect you? And then we get the answers that we need. I know what treatment to apply once I understand what my mind and body is trying to tell me or communicate with me through its anxiety, depression, pain. I can apply this healing ointment to my inner self and heal the wound, rather than constantly running away from myself. Acceptance and allowing is always in this moment, not forever. By playing with learning how to accept and allow myself to be as I am now, I'm giving my permission to relax and not get it right all the time. This takes away the pressure of perfectionism. Sometimes, acceptance and allowing does look a lot like surrendering on the outside. Sometimes my inner 2-year-old mind needs to throw a tantrum, and I let it. But the tantrum is time limited. So if I'm feeling angry or sad, I will let myself feel these emotions as fully as I can, let it out, cry, shout, while supporting myself as a loving parent. Obviously, these are done at appropriate times and places. not in the supermarket. Other times, the accepting and allowing might look like depression, with me having a PJ day. This is when I accept that I'm tired and need to rest, and then allow myself to have a PJ day. On the outside, it looks the same as depression. But at the end of the day, I feel refreshed and energized. And it is a healthy not doing nothing day. If it is part of a depressive cycle, I don't feel better the next day for having done nothing the whole day. For some people, even this distinction might be difficult to know. Do I need to rest because I'm tired? Or is it part of depression? The more we learn how to connect with our hearts, opening our hearts, the easier it will be to know which one it is. When it is a depressive, I don't want to do anything, then I need to activate my stern inner parent and make myself break that cycle as soon as possible. If you're unhappy with your body shape and size, acceptance is about accepting your body and shape and size as it is today. Allowing it to be this way just for today. This is not permission to stay in an unhealthy state, unless that's what you really want. It is simply about saying that this is the way I've lived my life until now. And now I have a choice. Do I want to keep doing what I've done for so long that has got me this result? Or do I want to do something different and get a different result? Am I willing to put in the work needed? Or do I want to keep being a victim in my own life? Working on the changes with loving compassion from the inner parent or trainer. If we hate our bodies or any part of ourselves, it is impossible to bring in loving thoughts or feelings to myself. Acceptance as it is now helps to neutralize this hate. Understanding for how we got here helps us to neutralize the hate. This is the compassion to and from ourselves. Clients often use that line on me, saying, but I've always been this way. This is how I am. This is who I am. Whether they're talking about their bodies, their behaviors, or their mind states. The 5 needs of the hearts that I've spoken about over the last few months are about bringing in a difference. These are the tools to change how or what you've been doing until now, to change your life and give yourself a different outcome, a different new reality. Accepting that what you have done until now was the best that you could with the tools and resources that you had. But now you have new knowledge and skills at your disposal. Are you brave enough to use them and change your life? Are you willing to take the risk of trying to love yourself with attention, appreciation, affection, acceptance and allowing, and maybe not get as far as you hope to? Or are you happy with where you are with yourself in terms of self-love? And even if you don't get to where you hope to be, what will be different if you started bringing in these different attitudes? If you started loving yourself just a little more? Love is about courage. We need to be courageous enough to say, I matter. I am worthy of love, care, nurturance. As difficult as it might be to say it, saying it is only the first part and the easy part. The harder part is putting this into action. I matter, and therefore I will give myself love, care, and nurturance. I will take the necessary action to make tomorrow just marginally better than today And then the next day, just marginally better. And so on, and so on. Just one tiny bit better than today. Be it in the shower, as I've spoken about in previous talks, an active mindfulness practice where you actually sit with yourself and face your thoughts with loving compassion, or incorporating mindfulness into your daily walk or other activities, or just playing with touch, as I've spoken about in my previous talks. What is your one way of making a difference in your life today? What is the one thing you're going to do for you now, today, in the next 5 minutes? Just bring in that one action. One action is where it starts. Whatever you do, and wherever you are, I ask you to start today. Start making you matter in tiny little ways each day. Support and grow in loving yourself with attention, appreciation, affection, acceptance, and allowing. Play with gifting these to your children and help them to gift it to themselves. And in this way, we start a new behavior. We start one where we start mattering, where we start showing that I am important. Thank you for listening to my show. If you have any questions or would like to contact me, all my details are available on my website, which is alivepsych.co.nz. You can find me on Facebook under Alive Psychology. We also have ACC-funded retreats, and that's from the 2nd to the 5th of October in the Coromandel. If you're interested in that, talk to your treatment provider to get funding for you. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and catch me next time. This is Bhavna. Thank you.